My husband's assistant, Tiffany, got her nutritionist certification, and just like that, our entire household entered an era of healthy diets. Wearing my old apron and using her own money to buy high-end ingredients, she'd smile sweeter than honey. Mr. Quinn has a sensitive stomach. We have to take good care of it for the company's sake. After cooking, she'd work up a sweat cleaning the house until it was spotless. I'm a bit of a clean freak, she'd say. Not like Mrs. Quinn. She's so used to a life of luxury, she won't lift a finger even when the house is a mess. She even found her way to my mother-in-law, who uses a wheelchair, to suck up to her. "Let me give you a massage, ma'am. I can take you out for some fresh air. I'm great at small talk, unlike Mrs. Quinn, who only has eyes for money." My mother-in-law looked at me with a complicated expression. "So, this is the new free maid? She's a bit talkative, isn't she? But hey, you can't expect perfection when it's free." Later, at a company party, Tiffany ran into my former assistant. Mark was grinding his teeth in hatred. 3 meals a day plus a midnight snack. Laundry, mopping, organizing. I worked my butt off for 3 years, and in the end, I was just the Quinn's free housekeeper. Tiffany burst into tears and threatened to quit. I draped my arm over my husband's shoulder and scolded him disapprovingly. "Tis, tis, honey, the dedication of homewreckers these days is really slipping." Compared to the ones who tried to break us up in the past, she was an amateur. I'd accidentally overheard a conversation between my husband, Leo Quinn, and his little assistant, Tiffany Shea. Tiffany's voice was syrupy sweet. "Mr. Quinn, now that I have my nutritionist certification, I can take even better care of you." Leo's voice was calm. "You're quite capable. You haven't let your work at the office slide at all while studying for this on the side." "I'd do anything for you, Mr. Quinn." A slight tremor entered Leo's voice. "In that case, do you know how to make king crab and steamed lobster?" Tiffany's voice filled with delight. "Of course. I'm sure Mrs. Quinn is also a wonderful cook and makes simple dishes like that all the time, right?" "Her? She wouldn't know where to start. She only knows how to eat." Looks like we were having king crab and lobster for dinner. This new mistress wannabe was the girl next door type, a real go-getter. At 8 p.m., I drove home, sat in the car scrolling on my phone for 15 minutes, and then got a text from Leo. "Dinner's ready." I got out and walked into our house. Tiffany was there, wearing my apron and my slippers. Her low-cut dress, barely concealed by the apron, showed off a huge amount of cleavage, and her slender legs were long and straight. She and the feast on the table complemented each other perfectly. Both looked delicious. I'd never met Leo's assistant in person, but we were well acquainted through her actions, like this seafood banquet she'd just served up. Freshly grilled oysters, a delicate cockle salad, vibrant boiled shrimp, and a fragrant millet porridge with sea cucumber, not to mention the steaming platters of king crab and lobster. I had to admit, Tiffany was a pretty good cook. I'd gained 5 pounds since she set her sights on my husband. But I couldn't express my gratitude. Instead, I stared at her with a look of pure shock. "Who are you, and what are you doing in my house?" Tiffany put on a perfectly flustered expression. "Mrs. Quinn, please don't misunderstand. I'm just Mr. Quinn's assistant. I'm here to cook for him." I gritted my teeth. "Assistant? An assistant wearing my apron and my slippers? Who gave you the nerve? Don't you know this is my house?" A flicker of triumph crossed her face before she burst into tears. "I'm so sorry, Mrs. Quinn. I didn't know these were your slippers. I thought they were for guests. And I assumed Mr. Quinn's wife wouldn't need to cook, so the apron must belong to the maid.
I raised my hand high, ready to slap her. Just then, Leo appeared and bellowed, "Sophia, what do you think you're doing to Tiffany?" My eyes instantly welled up. "Honey, she came into our house and started acting like she owns the place." Leo shielded Tiffany. "Look at yourself. You call yourself the lady of this house? Have you cooked me a single meal since we got married? You should learn a thing or two from Tiffany." I collapsed onto the sofa and started wailing. Leo ushered Tiffany toward the door. "You should go home for now. I'll handle this." Tiffany's voice was laced with pleasure. "Mr. Quinn, don't be angry. Just talk to her. Even though she's emotionally unstable, I'm sure she won't act like a common shrew if you just reason with her." Just as they were about to leave, I leapt up from the sofa and pointed at the floor by their feet. "Who are you calling a shrew?" Leo glanced down at the trash bag, then turned to Tiffany with a coddling tone. "Tiffany, could you do me a favor and—" Tiffany saw the bag and immediately perked up. "I'll get it. How could I let Mr. Quinn do something like this?" She took the trash bag and headed out. The moment the door closed, Leo and I made a mad dash for the dining table, fighting over the food like animals. We even had a loud argument. Outside, Tiffany heard the commotion and walked away, humming happily to herself. That night, we both ate until we were stuffed. We didn't do a single chore. Even the trash was taken out for us. And the best part? It was all free.
Leo and I have a deep-seated hatred for the very concept of the other person. When I was 5, my mom took me on a date with her lover. He pinched my ass, my mom slapped me, and the two of them started going at it in the living room, right as my dad came home early from a business trip. When Leo was 10, his dad's company was taking off, and a parade of women started flocking to his office, draping themselves over his desk. His dad eventually caved and married the one who could moan the loudest. Our two families split into 4, and neither my dad nor his mum had it easy. The homewreckers would show up periodically to cause trouble, acting completely shameless. Leo and I became each other's support system in a purely platonic way. Back then, I was a geeky girl with braces and glasses, and he was a chubby kid. Neither of us got any attention. We couldn't even find the one, let alone the other one. We were just best buds. As for romantic sparks, absolutely none. He said my braces cured him of any impure thoughts, and I said his bulky frame screamed future domestic abuser. We were spark-proof. We stayed that way for 10 years before our families moved apart. But when we met again at 30, I had become a stunning girl boss, and he was a cool CEO. He pinned me against a wall and kissed me. In that instant, lightning struck. After a passionate night together, we both produced evidence we'd never had plastic surgery and clean bills of health, then happily went and got married. With new looks and new money came swarms of admirers. But if they came for us, they were in for a world of hurt. You see, other people's wedding vows are about loving each other for life. Ours was a pledge to mercilessly hunt down and destroy any and all homewreckers. A few days after our wedding, a handsome young security guard ran out to give me an umbrella during a downpour. His uniform was soaked, clinging to his perfect muscles. His handsome face was filled with concern. "Ms. Lin, take this. You'll get sick if you get wet." I smiled. "Nice muscles." His eyes lit up. "I have other nice qualities too, Ms. Lin." "Oh, that's wonderful." Leo saw the whole thing. That night, he held me and cried like a boiling kettle. "I lost 100 pounds, spent a fortune on a new car and wardrobe, and you still fall for the security guard." "It's not like that," I said, exasperated. "I saw your texts. You told him to come to the office before dawn tomorrow. What do you need him to do before dawn?" "The company is moving." Leo fell silent. "What?"
Didn't we hire a moving company? We can save the money from the movers and go out for lobster. Do you think I'm short on cash? Just think about how much we struggled after our families fell apart, I said quietly. Fine, but don't let it happen again. Later, it became a running thing. Hey, do you have any new admirers? I need someone to unload a truck tomorrow. The security guard's moving duties lasted an entire weekend, from Friday night to Sunday evening. When he saw me at work on Monday, his biceps had shrunk by a good 2 inches. I looked at him with disdain. What happened to your physique? He blushed and stammered, too embarrassed to form a coherent sentence, clearly feeling insecure. After him came the parade. The cute younger guy, the gentle childhood friend, the old rival back from abroad, the one that got away who returned, the drunk guy who accidentally walked into the wrong restroom. For 3 years we never had to hire cleaners, security, or a driver. When they found out I was just using them as free labor, some got angry, while others would tear up trying to make me feel sorry for them. I would just smile faintly and say, trying to break up a marriage is a high-stakes gamble. I hope you're prepared to accept your losses. They would always leave dejectedly. If I was the gentle hand in dealing with these homewrecker wannabes, Leo was the iron fist. He once made a secretary who sprained her ankle in his office move gas tanks to our home. Yes, you heard me right. Gas tanks. We don't even use them, but he made her move a whole truckload. This delicate, charming woman, who had worn a white low-cut dress to see him, ended up with her outfit streaked with grime. It looked like striped. She had to tug her neckline up every 3 steps. After she finished, he said, "Wrong delivery. You have to move them all back." Just as she was about to have a meltdown, he gave her a small smile. "You know, right now you remind me of that famous painting, The Golden Season. You're filled with the vitality and resilience of a working woman." A few words of flattery, and she was cheerfully moving the gas tanks all over again. I tried to intervene out of pity, but she shot me a glare. Is the missus jealous, feeling threatened that I'm Mr. Quinn's right-hand woman? I was speechless.
After Leo and I finished our seafood feast, he took a picture and sent it to Tiffany. It was delicious. We didn't leave a single crumb. Tiffany immediately posted the picture on her social media. Who says all-powerful CEOs have stomach problems? My CEO has a great appetite. He finishes every single thing I make for him. She even adjusted the privacy settings so only I could see it. Good. A homewrecker needs to be clever. It's no fun bullying the dumb ones. Tiffany did have some brains, because I saw her again during my regular visit to my mother-in-law's high-end nursing home. She was dressed in a chic, light grey pantsuit with light makeup and her hair neatly tied back, looking every bit the kind of daughter-in-law that old ladies adore. She was offering my mother-in-law a slice of cake. "Ma'am, I know you have high blood sugar, so there are a lot of things you can't eat. I made this cake with whole wheat flour and no sugar. It won't affect you at all. You can't trust store-bought cakes like you can homemade." She was smart, knowing that wealthy people often prefer fresh, simply prepared food. My mother-in-law slowly took the cake, then turned and saw me. Tiffany immediately shrank back, trembling. "Mrs. Quinn, please don't misunderstand. Mr. Quinn is just so busy. He asked me to come check on his mother." "He asked you," I scoffed, "and you brought this for my mum to eat. This facility has custom meals prepared by a master chef for every resident. A cake like this?" I clicked my tongue. "Are you that broke? Trying to win over my mother-in-law with such cheap ingredients?" Tiffany's face went pale, her jaw clenched. "But ma'am, I was up at dawn to make this.
I haven't even eaten yet." I shoved the $1 bun I was holding into her hands. "Here, go on." Tears welled in Tiffany's eyes. My mother-in-law spoke softly. There, Gia, you should go. We don't want to make Sophia angry." She added, "Sophia is a good girl, but she has a terrible temper. Only Leo can handle her." A malicious glint appeared in Tiffany's eyes. She bowed her head meekly. "Okay, ma'am, I'll go. If Miss Lynn gets angry, please call me any time." They bid each other a reluctant farewell like long-lost friends. But the moment Tiffany disappeared down the hall, my mother-in-law dropped the frail act, her face twisting into a sneer. "So, that's the new one. A step up from the last, but too talkative." I split the cake with my mother-in-law, gloating. Never get too attached to the free help. After our snack, we left the room and saw Tiffany standing in the cold wind, her eyes red, shivering so hard she could barely speak. She looked at my mother-in-law, wanting to say something, but my mother-in-law just draped an old coat she was planning to throw away over her shoulders. "Child, it's cold out. Hurry and take the subway home. It breaks my heart to see you like this." Tiffany was stunned. After all her efforts, the CEO's mother wasn't offering her a ride from the driver, not even calling her a cab. In the following days, she redoubled her efforts with Leo. She bought him a designer watch, delivered gourmet meals to his office daily, and even bought herself a new designer wardrobe and expensive lipstick, all to prove she wasn't after his money. Leo was starting to get creeped out. "She's spending so much," he worried. "Is she going to start a rumor that she's my sugar mama?" The more she tried, the more he distanced himself. Tiffany was clearly getting desperate and started making mistakes. She somehow got her hands on some sort of aphrodisiac and put it in Leo's coffee. Leo, already wary of her, didn't drink it, but his driver, not wanting it to go to waste, chugged it. The scene that followed was chaotic. Leo was furious. The driver ended up in the hospital with a black eye, but not before he'd ripped Leo's pants. "These were the pants he patched for me. He dared to rip them." I just bought him a new pair and told him I'd fix the old ones. He praised my handiwork as usual. Our relationship was solid, but Tiffany couldn't take it anymore. She decided to go for a direct attack. She stormed into my office and pointed a finger at my nose. "A woman like you, who only cares about money and status, doesn't deserve to be Mr. Quinn's wife. You're disgusting, running to get Botox at the first sign of a wrinkle. Unlike me, I don't have any wrinkles. Do you have any idea how much money that saves Mr. Quinn?" I looked at her young, smooth face. Sure, it was wrinkle-free, but her eyelids were done, her nose was fake, and her chest was definitely augmented. I had no idea what she was so proud of. "If you think you can become a CEO's wife by being frugal, you've been seriously misled. No CEO has ever fallen in love with a woman because she was good at saving money." Tiffany sneered. "Do you really think Mr. Quinn loves you that much? I'm the one who makes all his meals. He can't even stand the food from his chefs anymore. He's only with you out of a sense of duty. Don't you see that?" "Oh, you mean the sandwich yesterday morning, the seafood biscuit at lunch, and the sea cucumber porridge for dinner? Sorry, I ate all of that too. I was under my husband's desk when you came in. I heard everything. It was just a boring work handoff, nothing more." Her face turned beet red. "You two, you're shameless, in the office?" "I'm shameless. Then what were you doing, lingering in his office? Weren't you hoping to do something shameless yourself? The only difference is when I do it, it's shameless. When you do it, it's some noble sacrifice. What's with the double standard?" She broke. "So you two have been playing me this whole time? I invested so much money, you owe me 10 times what I put in, or I'm not done with you. Playing you. You treated being a home wrecker like a business investment. Well, in investing, sometimes you lose money. Or maybe it wasn't an investment at all, but a gamble. If you gamble and lose, you accept the loss. You don't ask the casino to pay you back. But if you'd won, you'd get someone else's husband. You've really got it all figured out, haven't you? Tiffany pointed at me, speechless with rage. I simply called Leo. Your assistant just stormed into my office and started screaming at me. What are you going to do about it? Tiffany looked at Leo with teary eyes. Mr. Quinn, I didn't. Leo said one word. Fired. She completely snapped, throwing herself into his arms. Mr. Quinn, I don't believe it. You're just afraid of her. I know you have feelings for me. Otherwise, why wouldn't you push me away? Leo stood perfectly still, calmly taking a picture with his phone. Sexual harassment, Tiffany. And, just like all the others before her, Tiffany was kicked out of the company and blacklisted in the industry. She fell on hard times, but she refused to give up, scheming to sneak into high-end parties and industry events. Finally, she got her chance. She ran into Mark Zhao, the assistant from 3 years ago. Back then, he tried to drive a wedge between us by swapping Leo's towel with one used by someone with an STD, hoping I'd be disgusted by Leo. I found out, slapped him a few times, and sent him to jail. I mean, whether I found my husband disgusting was one thing, but what if I caught an STD? The man had to go. He'd only been out for a few days and was already causing trouble, full of resentment. That couple is a pair of criminals, he seethed. They toy with us and refuse to let go. We have to make them pay. They hit it off immediately and plotted their revenge. What they didn't know was that I was watching their every move.
Tiffany was a tough one. She came from a dirt-poor family with a gambling father, a weak mother, overbearing grandparents, and a younger brother who spent money like dirt. She had been willing to invest her life savings to chase Leo. Now that the money was gone and she hadn't gotten the man, there was no way she'd give up. For once, she and Mark did something smart. They found Leo's the one that got away, Clarissa Tong. Clarissa was a senior when Leo was in college. With long, straight black hair and a graceful smile, she was always first in her class. She went abroad as an exchange student in her junior year. Leo flew overseas more than 20 times in 1 year just to spend a few hours with her. After we got married, he never wanted to talk about that time, and I never asked. Everyone has a past, but if the past isn't in the past, you can't have a future. I had to admit, Tiffany had found my weak spot, so I found hers. I tracked down the edgy guy she dated after middle school. He'd just been fired from a dead-end assembly line job and was desperate to settle down. He started relentlessly pursuing Tiffany again, even offering her family $10,000 to marry her. When her family refused, he decided to get her for free, making her so miserable she'd come crawling to him. Tiffany was on the verge of a breakdown. She bought a ticket to another state and never dared to come back. Honestly, everyone has a past. Why get so scared? With Tiffany gone, Mark was on his own. He was never very bright, but he'd learned Tiffany's big move. He came to me. Give me $500,000 and I'll help you find Ethan Cheng. I froze. Ethan Cheng was the boy I had a crush on in high school. But we were young and it was a stressful time academically, so I kept my feelings to myself. I tried to show him I liked him, even giving him my dad's most precious fountain pen just to get him to talk to me more. My dad almost broke my leg for that. It was an heirloom from my grandfather. The next day, I limped to school to ask for the pen back.
only to find out Ethan had transferred. I never got his contact info. To this day, I can't look my dad in the eye without feeling guilty. Mark could find Ethan? That would be great, but for $500,000, please. I smiled lightly. It seems you still don't understand the rules of my game. If you want something from me, you first have to prove you have something worth trading. Mark was always easy for me to confuse. Time in prison hadn't sharpened his wits. He actually agreed. The moment Ethan appeared before me, I grabbed his collar. The pen? Give me back my pen! Ethan was doing well for himself now. He looked me over, a flash of surprise in his eyes at my transformation. He chuckled. The pen? I can have it after you have dinner with me. I hosted him for instant noodles in my office. 5 minutes to cook, 5 minutes to eat. Okay, give me the pen. Ethan smirked. Looks like your company isn't doing so well. Give me the pen. Just as Ethan left, Leo arrived. When he pushed open the door, a chill went down my spine as I scrambled for an explanation. But Leo didn't want one. He just took the car keys from my desk and left. That night, I saw a picture on a mutual friend's social media feed. Leo and his one that got away, Clarissa Tong. They were smiling, leading close together, looking intimate. It seemed our homewrecker hunting team was about to be taken down by a homewrecker. Mark laughed hysterically in my office, mocking me. The hunter has become the hunted. The next second, the police arrived and took him away. The charge was extortion. $500,000 was no small sum. It would have been an insult to his audacity not to report him. Mark wailed, begging not to go back. He'd been so sure he wouldn't end up in prison again that he'd double-crossed the inmates who used to bully him. If he went back now, he'd be beaten to a pulp. But that wasn't my problem. I was just an innocent victim seeking help from the police. Whatever they decided to do with him was out of my hands. He snarled. How can you be so cruel? Tiffany and I just loved you. Even if you didn't love us back, you shouldn't have treated us like this. Love me? Do home wreckers really feel love? I've only ever seen them go after people with looks and money. I've never seen a homeless man on the street have to deal with a home wrecker. So, is it really love? Or is it just seeing something nice that someone else has and wanting to snatch it for yourself? Mark gritted his teeth. If it wasn't real love, why wouldn't we just find someone else to marry? Why would we chase after you two? Because we're desirable, obviously. But what if we had no money and no looks? Would you still chase us? Or would it be the other way around? They dragged Mark away as he screamed. Whose feelings don't change over a lifetime? Who doesn't get distracted after a few decades? You really think your love is unbreakable? Feelings are the most unreliable thing in the world. I ignored him. Leo didn't come home that night. I called him. A woman's voice answered. I'm sorry. My friend drank a little too much. He can't come to the phone right now. Can I take a message? No message. Just tell him his wife is cheating on him.
The next day, I went to work as usual. The first thing I saw was a familiar face. Leo's one that got away, Clarissa Tong. She was leaning against the door of Leo's office, her fair, beautiful face free of makeup, her glossy hair falling softly over her shoulders. Even I felt a little stir just looking at her. She and Leo were talking quietly, their heads close together, laughing softly from time to time. The surrounding employees were all pretending to be invisible, their keyboards clattering furiously. I could see at least 5 of them were just typing gibberish into a blank document. I turned and walked away. That afternoon, I went to visit my mother-in-law as usual. Did you take care of that Tiffany girl? She asked.
Not yet. She's a little tricky. My mother-in-law sniffed with disdain. These young people, no brains to see who has potential and no patience to gamble on someone. They just want to steal what's already built. It's terrible. It's not always the third person's fault. A partner who can be stolen isn't much of a prize to begin with. Exactly, she sneered. Every pot has its lid. A few years after she and Leo's father separated, he got sick. Very sick. The other woman took care of him, but she charged him for everything. A glass of water, a meal, a load of laundry. Leo's father knew that the moment his money ran out, he wouldn't have long to live, so he held onto it tightly. On his deathbed, he said he would give all his money to my mother-in-law if she would just come to see him one last time. She refused. They said he waited alone in his hospital room all night. His mistress and her children ripped his blankets off in the middle of winter, trying to force him to change his will and leave everything to them. He held on for half the night before he passed away. In the end, his lawyer produced the will. All his money was donated to a charitable foundation in my mother-in-law's name. She still calls him bad luck whenever he's mentioned. My own mother also came to regret running off with her lover. The man was a romantic, which is to say he was good at romance and nothing else. After they got married, the romance phase was over, so he went out to find romance with other people. He romanced his way into a host of diseases, and my mom finally kicked him out. Too ashamed to come home, she left a note and self-exited. When my dad saw the note, he sighed. She could have just come home. I wouldn't have thrown her out. Why did she have to do that? He hated her, but he never wished her dead. The bottom line is, both our families were shattered by infidelity. And if Leo were the type to forget that kind of hatred, he wouldn't be Leo.
Soon enough, Tiffany was caught. She was arrested for stalking Leo and Clarissa, trying to get photographic evidence of their affair to send to me. Her plan was that I'd go crazy, and my fight with Leo would be mutually destructive, giving her the satisfaction of revenge. Unfortunately for her, she didn't know Leo and she didn't know me. The first pot of gold we made when we started our business was from helping wives bust their husbands' mistresses. We were damn good at it. If it weren't for a few legal gray areas, we would have taken our homewrecker busting company public. And Clarissa, she was one of us. Tiffany was sentenced, but it had nothing to do with us. It was pure karma. After leaving our city, she tried to start a new life. But after a few days, she decided that working was too hard and tiring compared to lounging in a CEO's air-conditioned office. So she seduced a small business owner at her new company. He wasn't the CEO, but he was easy to manipulate, and his office was just as comfortable. She was enjoying her new life when the owner's wife showed up. This was no ordinary wife. She was the one who had bankrolled her husband's business from the start. But the moment the company was stable, he started messing around with his secretary. Tiffany got a brutal beating. The owner, to save his own skin, actually used her as a human shield, so she got beaten twice. She furiously broke up with him. The wife also threw the owner out and took over his company. He then started relentlessly harassing Tiffany, demanding back everything he'd ever bought her, including a pair of designer socks that came free with a pair of shoes. They were almost worn through, but he took them back, saying he could use them to polish a vase. Tiffany moved to another city and fell into a similar pattern. This time, she was one step away from success. The man was about to divorce his wife for her, but then the wife suddenly got pregnant. The man hesitated. Tiffany went to confront the wife. During the argument, she pushed her and the wife fell down a flight of stairs, suffering a brain hemorrhage. She's still in the ICU. Tiffany fled and was arrested for leaving the scene of a crime. In custody, she was distraught. Why is everyone so hard on the other woman? If the couple's relationship was fine, the third person wouldn't have a chance. It's their own fault. Why does everyone attack us? Why is everyone's moral compass so broken? I just looked at her. Oh, I'm here to talk about your problem, not anyone else's. Other people having problems doesn't mean you don't. You messed with me, so I'm dealing with you. When other people don't mess with me, I leave them alone. I have no idea what you're even arguing. They should go after the cheater first. The other woman is a victim too. I kicked her chair over. The person who gets cheated on is the victim. You are not. And besides, just because I'm dealing with you doesn't mean I'm not dealing with the cheater. I'm perfectly happy to deal with both of you. In fact, I'm happy to deal with you first. What are you going to do about it? You shrew! If it weren't for you, Mr. Quinn would have loved me. Oh, but there is a me, so love doesn't do what-ifs. Tiffany broke down sobbing as the police led her away. Even if she avoids prison, she'll have to pay a fortune. But among the homewreckers who crossed us, her fate was actually one of the better ones. We've just been too busy with work lately to give her our full attention.
With everything settled, I pushed open the door to Leo's office. Clarissa was talking to him. As soon as she saw me, she turned, smiled, and walked over. Sophia, how was our performance this time? She instinctively put some distance between herself and Leo, a hint of friendly disgust on her face. But when she took my arm, her smile was genuine. I helped you with this huge favor. Don't you think you should help me with one? Clarissa was Leo's one that got away. That much was true, but only in an academic sense. The girl was a genius. When she and Leo were on the same project team in college, they were unstoppable. She was the team's secret weapon. Whenever she was absent, their progress would grind to a halt. That's why Leo flew to see her so many times. But he had absolutely zero romantic feelings for her. He told me she used to yell at him so much for his work that he'd see stars. Not even his own mother had ever scolded him that harshly. But the outside world didn't believe that. The cool, popular guy and the brilliant, icy senior, their story had spawned countless rumors. We never paid them any mind. Only Tiffany took them seriously and spent her money to bring Clarissa back into the picture. We just decided to play along and watch the show. To be honest, it was like using a sledgehammer to kill a fly. I thought it was overkill, but Leo and Clarissa were having fun, so I didn't stop them. Now, Clarissa had a problem of her own. Her relationship with her boyfriend abroad was on the rocks. He had a childhood best friend, a girl he'd literally grown up sharing a bed with. This little sister had just gotten into a university nearby and was clinging to Clarissa's boyfriend constantly, turning their duo into a trio. Clarissa was fed up and wanted to break up, but her boyfriend refused to let go, and the little sister kept making trouble. It was giving her a massive headache. "I'm leaving it to you two," she said. "You handle the homewrecker, I'll handle the man. I promise I'll be even more ruthless than you." "Deal," we said. "You know," she mused, "you two should really just open a company. I'd be your first applicant." "Nah," we said in unison, "we're too lazy." The three of us looked at each other and smiled, ready to get to work. The end.